whole new world about yourself. You want to do that?
Yeah.
Okay, great. That you didn't know. And we're going to create the technology for turning any complaint you have, into a possibility and then into breakthrough results. How about that? Right. Okay, so real quickly, for those of you who are our guests tonight, I know we have one guest. Oh, hi. Looks like way out there. Great. And there may be some others walking in. What's your name? Anissa. Beautiful. Thank you for being here. Yeah. So Anissa, and when other guests come in too, I want, first of all, I said thank you for being with us and coming here to find out about Landmark, accepting TJ's invitation. Great. So one of our intentions tonight is for you to have like a powerful evening and for you to get kind of a sense of what we do here at the seminar, right? So you're going to find out a little bit later on how the Landmark Forum works, right? You're going to go on your own seminar, which is an introduction to the Landmark Forum. And you're going to be with us for about 20 minutes, all right? So I'm going to introduce the introduction later here in a few minutes, but we'll wait. For those of you in the seminar, I'd like you to come up and share what's opening up for you out of working in the seminar. Not everybody share it once. Yeah, TJ, come on up. And then Alejandro, Alex. Right.
After looking through
After looking through my list of complaints, realizing that I live a large portion of my life in an ungrateful mindset, not appreciative of the things that I have, focusing on a lot of the negative things rather than empowering the positive things that are there, that are already present. Living in that mindset and understanding, I really love what you just said because I'm really encouraged and I'm excited now to be able to take a complaint and flip it. It's gonna be awesome.
It's a nice, wow, yeah, great. Thanks, TJ. You know what TJ? Jason, is the IL in here? He's the IL in here. Great, go ahead.
Well, I complain about not knowing what I want to do in my life, and so that makes me be indecisive with things and just take on life as it kind of comes to me without really having any power to make a choice and decide the matter.
So what area of life specifically, or you said life, but what?
It's in anything, everything that I do, whether it's my job or romantic relationships or any of that stuff. And so being here and then assisting the weekend kind of empowered me to take more of a leadership role and say, okay, if I really do want to make a difference or make a stand for something, like I myself need to step up and just do it and have more power with deciding what it is that I want to do.
Do you guys want to see how people share for a second? Like what you shared is I mean, who would want that, right? And moment by moment, we're training you. So if you were to say that you're share with power and leave these human beings with something, how would you pronounce your words? How would you be?
Way more vulnerable.
Yeah. And I'm not saying that vulnerable is right, but for him, he said vulnerable, right?
Yeah, I mean, but for me, it's always been, I guess I just realized in sharing, I was very conceptual and very kind of broad, but not giving anything really specific. And so for me, I feel like I always have a cloud over me of doubt and depression and self-judgment. I feel like I'm not good enough at work, I'm not good enough with friendships. People think that I'm really nice and have my life together. But deep down, I'm I don't know what the heck I'm doing, and that makes me.
How many of you guys know what you're doing? Yeah.
You're not the only one.
You see that when you start sharing yourself, it's really there. They can relate to it, because they're human beings too.
We all got our shadows on the inside.
Yeah. find the first one? Okay, let's have a couple more people come up and share. What are you working on in the seminar? What results would you like to produce? Yes, shall I come on up? Can I share what you did today too? That you shared already.
Okay, so this past week when we had our call and writing down the complaints, for me it was like cleaning house but decluttering, because my mind has been so cluttered with negativity and unsure of exactly how that's going to happen. So I would become like, oh, can I do it? And all this self-doubt, and then I'd start complaining about it. And so it became so clear when we were on the phone with Elizabeth, listening to my other teammates, there was a lot of clarity there for me as well, listening to my other teammates on the call. And I realized at that point, I'm like, oh my gosh, we all have stories, and mine's been really cluttered, and I'm done. I'm really done. I was very challenged to be here tonight, and there was a lot of obstacles in my way. And I made a decision what was best for me. Even though I made a commitment and I felt a little guilty about it, but when I saw that it wasn't going the way it was supposed to go, I'm like, you know what? You need to make the decision in what's best. And I did that, and I'm here. And this is where the information is for me to turn my life around. So I'm here.
Beautiful. Got it. That's what it looks like to relate to your word and honor your word. You're completely unreasonable. You were here tonight. Thank you so much for sharing that. It's so powerful. Okay, great. So let's have one more person. Yeah, Lulu, come on up. And then you can come up, George. That's one person, right?
Good evening. My name is Lulu, and I'm sorry I wasn't at session 1, but I'm doing wisdom, so there was a conflict there. But it's just great to be with all of you, and I'm going to stand for you for the rest of the seminar. I took on the assignment as I was coming here, and as I was making my list of complaints, I really realized that basically the complaints come from when I am not choosing to be the cause and the matter of my life. And so the complaint is very much the result of I'm trying to project something or work off a plan. And life just isn't, powerful when you let a plan and performance determine, whether you are choosing to be present in your life, whatever the moment is. So that's what I just got quickly, and it's great to be with all of you. Thank you.
Was we supposed to share?
You're
So
supposed to share.
about my assignments, the complaints.
Well, yeah, so what are you working on in the seminar?
Mhm.
Or what's opening up for you?
So we all have a full box of issues we'd like to deal with, but I think the best is to deal with the one that affects you the most. And to me, it would be something relating to power, how I think Barry defined it. Power is like when you say you're going to do something and you do it.
It's like Shelley.
Huh?
It's like Shelley. She said she's going to be here. She was here.
Well, for me, it's even worse because we all have income producing activities and then we have social or family activities. So my hardest thing for me as a person right now is to be able to tackle my income side. It's like, oh, today I'm going to meet 20, 30 people. But you do that 3 days in a row and you start feeling like life's beating you up psychologically. So when I intend in the morning to meet people or to talk to people about business, for some reason, I'm having, it just, the mind kind of like carries over, and then you want to like smack the nail on the head, and you don't land on it every day. That's been my battle. What
do
you
you
guys,
mean by that?
let's say, let's talk about scheduling, for example. My intention is to be at the office between 7:30 and 8.
Okay.
Because as a realtor, we're supposed to dial from 8 in the morning until 11 a.m. We're supposed to call people that their house went expired or that they're selling for sale by owner, stuff like that. You're supposed to have at least 20 different conversations before lunch with people about real estate. When the reality is, I usually swing into the office around 9. Maybe I make about 20, 30 minutes of phone calls. I'll do paperwork, I'll be calling people, follow up, but I'm not getting down to the core, and that's affecting me in so many ways. It's affecting me as a dad, because I know I can't put the proper loaf of bread on top of the table. It's affecting me psychologically in the matter that I know what I have to do, but I have issues with repeating that pattern. And it's affecting me as a person because I don't feel that I'm 100% on top of my game. So the exercises and the complaint been about inaction. The whole complaint list is I don't make enough. I don't spend enough time with my son, because that's the other side to it. My broker told me, George, are you okay to tell your son that you can't spend time with him because you didn't really pour it on hard the times you were supposed to? And he started making, this conversation was like a week and a half ago, so I've been scratching my head a lot. And then last week I got like really bad, sick, in one of those heavy duty flus, and then now I'm getting back on top of my game. But it's still, it's tinkering in my head, because if you don't do the most you can, those hours you can to do the work, then you're basically taking away from your family time, because you're going to be playing catch up and stuff. And my idea is hit it really hard before noon, and if I do that, everything else should fall into its place. So my complaints were more about suffering from inaction. Like I say I'm going to do, I'll do the schedule, and then time comes around and the body kind of like resents it.
I can hear in your sharing, and I'm sure many of you deal with this. And we're going to grow that muscle in the seminar, is when you say you're going to be there at 7:30 or 8.
Mm-hmm.
The moment the lights turn on in the morning is your word. What did I give my word to?
Right.
I said I would be there.
No.
See, there is no action without integrity. There is no performance.
I got that really, really straight from Barry, because Barry's like, everything's about integrity. I was like, oh, okay. So,
But you know that.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What's hurting me is not to know it, because a wise friend told me one time.
You just don't have a relationship to your word. It's not bad, it's so.
Correct.
So you're like, this is perfect where you are, and this is a muscle for you to grow, and you're here. Acknowledge yourself for driving here tonight, put yourself in a conversation, develop yourself, and honor your word.
Yes, it is. I was thinking actually on my way here, it's like, why do I put more faith on coming to Landmark than doing my job? And that got me thinking that I must see something here that's more important than doing my job. And I didn't know how to balance that up here. It's like something needs to finish clicking in order for me to just because I know what I'm capable of doing. My former partner.
How many of you know what you're capable of doing, but you don't do it?
Right.
You know your capability.
I know I'm an F-16, but I settle not taking off because I have a flat tire, for example. And I've been, I don't know if you guys have taken personality assessment test, not about you being a dominant or this or that. It's about what you're good for, like what basically your framework, who you are is good for. And my mentors told me, George, you're meant to be a mega agent. You just need to get your stuff, in line. Because once when they see me talking to people, they're like, you are amazing. I'm not shy. I'm not, I don't.
I have no doubt that you're not, I have no doubt.
But there's just like, it's like, sometimes you feel like you're out of fuel, I guess, and that's probably.
Well, so that's an area I want you to work on tonight. We're going to keep looking at different areas and complaints.
Mhm.
And one of them for you is a big one, is integrity.
Yeah.
Okay, not like morality, good, bad, it's right or wrong.
No, it's doing what I said I would do, and
No,
a
you gotta,
simple way to
hold
say
on,
it
no, you gotta
is,
stop, you gotta listen.
yes, ma'am.
It's not like I'm a hierarchy here. You get that? It's just being in service of something, of you. But you've gotta start catching yourself in the moment when you say, I'm gonna do this. It's like, oh no, I'm gonna go eat some chips, or whatever people do. You know that, and it happens, right? It's just the same thing as like running a marathon. You're not gonna get up and like run a 5-minute mile. It takes practice. So you're gonna practice honoring your word, doing what you said you would do. Okay? And all of us are gonna stand for that. We gotta move on, but
Yeah.
I really want you to work in that area, okay?
Yes.
Great, awesome. Okay, so today would you like to introduce your guest?
Yes, this is my friend Anissa.
Do you want to come up to the microphone? We've got
Yes.
translation.
This is my friend Anissa. She is a beautiful individual. We're both flight attendants for American Airlines. That's how we met. One of my best friends. She's here with me tonight.
Oh, that's so great. So thank you for being here, as I said before, and in a few minutes you're going to go into your separate seminar, learn about Landmark, get all your questions answered, and then you can come back at 10 o'clock and be with TJ, or TJ, you can go back and be, what room are she going to be? B. Okay. And I totally didn't get your name. Clarissa. Yes. Yeah, come on up. This is our introduction leader. She's like walking like, I don't want to go up there.
No, I need to walk slow.
Okay. This is Clarissa. She is an introduction leader. As I said, I promised you that every session we would have an introduction leader. And when did you do your introduction leaders program?
2 years ago?
Okay, so you've been leading about 2 years, like a leader. Okay, great. So would you like to say what you got out of your Landmark forum?
Well, I have to tell you that.
Oh, can you hear? Can you hear her? Okay. Go to the microphone.
My
Right here. I promised the Spanish community I would change the microphones this time, and I am.
but I can speak Spanish too. I did my landmark forum 3 years ago, and what I get from there was kind of like a cascade of things. It was not something at the beginning that could bring it down, but I get from there the life of my daughter, be able to be in peace with her moving to San Francisco and going and live there, and she's my only daughter, and for her to see with me that she can do it, and she did it, and she's almost going to have 2 years living there, and we have a beautiful relationship, and it's been for us the best way to separate being together.
So what was the what was the relationship you like before the forum?
Well, what happened is that I am a single mother, and she's my only child. She's my child, and she studied with me. She's become an architect here in Florida. Means that we lived together since to the last day, and she didn't want to leave me because she knew that I was going to be alone. And then we did the forum. She did it first, and I did it after. And we realized that she wants to go and live her life. And then I saw how important for her was me to be in peace with her. And we create that, and we are in communication. We talk about every single thing, but she's in San Francisco, and I am here. And well, I have the point to be there too and travel, but it's not that bad. That's it.
Beautiful. Oh my gosh. Okay, so is there any guests here tonight? Just want to check in? Okay, great. So Anissa, you're going to pick up your belongings. You're going to go with Clarissa in room B. And have a wonderful time. Have a wonderful evening.
Bye-bye.
All right. All right, so let's have someone come up here and read the intention of the series and the intention of tonight's session and own it. Self-expressed. Who wants to do that? Go for it. Elizabeth. Yeah.
The intention of the series is to move beyond excellence as a concept to excellence as a possibility. And of tonight's session is to empower you to turn your complaints into a possibility.
Awesome, thank you. So as we said earlier, that the intention of the series is to move beyond excellence. We create excellence, right? World comparison and all that, right? And throughout the series, we're going to create it as excellence as a possibility. Like I said, you guys are going to create that over a period of 10 sessions. And then tonight, you will be able to, I heard someone say this earlier, flip your complaints. You'll have it, the technology to turn your complaint into a possibility at any given moment. Can you imagine what your life would be like doing that, walking out here tonight? So I'm requesting that there's participation. The more that you put into it, the more you're going to get out of it. So you ready? Yes. All right, great. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to check in, and we're going to look at what opened up for you doing the assignments. So as I said earlier, the last session we began to explore the relationship to excellence, to the world that, in that conversation we discovered that what we call excellence is simply a fancy name for being better than someone or something, or someone or something, or having a picture of perfection. How many are the people that like perfection? Oh, perfection is here. Yeah. So we began to confront the lack of distinction around excellence as a possibility. Now, given the lack of distinctions for excellence is not a possibility for us. So I'm going to stop real quick, and we've got a special treat for you guys. And it's rare to actually have an advanced course leader in our room, but this person I'm going to introduce in a moment, she led the advanced course this weekend. Some of you, how many of you were in the advanced course this weekend? Awesome, beautiful, beautiful. And how many of you have registered for the advanced course? How many of you haven't registered for the advanced course? Okay, great, thanks for raising your hands. And she led it this weekend. She's also accountable for the seminar leaders, so she's accountable for me, so make sure I look good. So let's acknowledge Susie Wagner, the advanced course leader.
Since 11 o'clock last night. Thank you for allowing me to spend some time with you.
Microphone.
Yeah.
You got translation.
Oh, okay. Thanks, Rich.
You keep the mic by the table.
George with some good ideas back there. Yes. That's why he wears his hat. He's got his thinking cap on.
No.
No? Okay, good. All right. All right, so, I'm so glad to be able to be with you. And like Belinda said, I'm accountable for her. So it takes something for her to have me walk in the back of her room. Okay, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right, so tell her, those of you that were with me all weekend, you can tell her to quit being nervous, yes? Yeah, so I'm not that threatening. Okay, so I do want to invite those of you that haven't registered in the advanced course, and actually anybody, whether you've done the advanced course, haven't done the advanced course, are in the advanced course, did the advanced course 20 years ago, etc., to join us tomorrow night. It really is an environment over which you'll never get. You know, the sense of community, the sense of having the people in your life present there, and being up to something. So one of the things, it was a dance this weekend, okay? It was a dance, yes? Okay? So one of the things that we distinguish in the advanced course is what we call your act, okay? And for those of you that are in the advanced course, you know what I'm talking about. And that act is really creates the context that you live your life inside of. And for human beings, all of those contexts are going to give you some sort of survival. So here you've got your act in this world of survival, and you've been that way since you said it, okay, at some point when you were young. And so the advanced course is a dance between the act and possibility. And that really sets you up. That whole weekend you're looking at, okay, when I'm in my act and when I'm actually here as a possibility. And that sets you up for the rest of your life, because that's what life looks like. You get to choose. After doing the forum, it's not like, okay, life is not going to be perfect, but now you get to choose. Am I going to step into the way in which I wound up being, or are you going to step into the world of possibility? Okay, and it's also about, the advanced course is very much about your vision for your future. So I wanted to share something real quick. It's a quote from Martin Luther King Jr. that I think really incorporates what the advanced course is all about. Okay, so it says, "You may be 38 years old, as I happen to be, and one day some great opportunity stands before you and calls you to stand up for some great principle, some great issue, some great cause. And you refuse to do it because you're afraid. You refuse to do it because you want to live longer. You're afraid that you will lose your job. Or you're afraid that you'll be criticized, or that you'll lose your popularity. Or you're afraid that someone will stab you, or shoot at you, or bomb your house, so you refuse to take the stand. Well, you may go on and live until you're 90, but you're just as dead at 38 as you would be at 90. And the sensation of breathing in your life is but the belated announcement of an earlier death of the spirit." Okay, so I want to leave you with that, really, as what is it that your life could be for and the difference that you could make, you have no idea. Okay, so for those of you, raise your hand again if you haven't registered yet in advance course, just like there's a few of you in here. Good. So if any of you would like to come tomorrow night? Yeah, maybe? Okay, all right, good. Well, you're invited.
I have actually a question about it.
Yeah, go ahead,
What
Martha.
are the differences between, you can see my name from there?
Yes.
Good eyes.
Got my special glasses.
Okay, but we will not be able to do that. What are the differences?
Oh, she needs a, can you speak into a microphone for the translation? Thank you. She's waving me down.
Should I get out?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm so lazy. Break group! That's one of my breakthroughs is laziness. What are the differences? What are the differences between this seminar and the advanced course? Like, what are the advantages? And I know you were talking about some purposes, but the actual intent and what you would get out of it.
Yeah.
And the core differences, like between.
Yeah, well, if you look at where the advanced course is, I mean, you're with the seminar series, you're in that pathway, right? But you are in the pathway to.
I don't know.
Right here, if you see, do you see the poster?
So you guys have done the forum,
So you've done the forum.
Okay, gotcha.
you're in the seminar.
So the advanced course is designed for you to do while you're in the seminar. Doesn't necessarily have to be that way, but that's the design of it. And then you go into the self-expression leadership program. So in the forum, you get life is empty and meaningless, yeah?
Correct.
Remember that? Got that? Okay. In the advanced course, you start to get that who you are.
So waking up.
I get it. The advanced course is who you are is empty and meaningless. Because it's you have this whole story of who you think that you are. And in the advanced course, you break that up. It's like, no, that's just something that you said. And then in the saying of it arose this whole world in which you're now going to live. So you walk out of the Landmark Forum with this life is empty and meaningless, but there's still a lot of meaning with this thing right here. And so in the advanced course, you start, chipping away. The way that, I don't know if you've ever heard how Michelangelo, when someone asked him, how did you create David, the statue of David? He said, I chipped away everything that wasn't David, and what was left was David. So isn't that cool? That's what we say in the advanced course. You know, it strips away everything that you know to be you that's really not you. So then you end up with you as this possibility, and then that's what the self-expression leadership program is for, because it's like you're this little bitty baby possibility walking out of the advanced course with no muscle against how you have wound up being. So then when you go in the self-expression leadership program, you actually create who you are and you introduce yourself to your community. I should have said that yesterday. Or you like?
What are the actual core differences between? So what are the core different? Sorry if I missed this.
No, it's okay.
Between the forum and the.
And the advanced course or the seminars? They're all, here's the best way to put it, because I know Belinda's got a lot of work for you guys to do, so I don't want to say too much. Between which one, the advanced course and the
Yeah,
summer?
that's what we're in now.
Yeah, what you're in now? In the
Yeah,
seminar?
what would we gain?
Well, it's a different set of distinctions. So a lot of what you're going to be doing in the seminar series is you're going to look at your relationship. This is excellence, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're going to look at your relationship to different aspects of life. So we've got success, we've got money, we've got sex and intimacy. All of those are different seminars, right?
Gotcha. So
It's more you out in life. Coaching? Yeah, okay?
Okay.
All right, good. You're welcome.
Thank you.
All right, well, I won't take any more time. Thanks for... All right, see you guys tomorrow.
Thank you.
All right, great. Okay, good. So, last session we took a look at, an inventory. We took an inventory of excellence, our already always existing relationship to the word excellence. Remember, we wrote up on the board. We looked at good enough, smarter than, perfection. We wrote down. What are some others? Phenomenal, outstanding. You are not excellent. What do you hear when you're not excellent? Right? We put all that on the board, right? So. And you started to take an inventory of the complaints that you have in the areas of your life that matter most to you. So your first assignment was to continue to engage in the work that we started in the notebook exercise, listing your complaints. And since your last session, your assignment was to keep adding for about 5 minutes or so every day a list of complaints, more complaints. At the end of the last session, I invited you to spend 5 minutes writing those down. And as you continue to create the inventory of your complaints, you're also to observe to see how your complaints shape your actions, how you show up in the world, right? So let's just complete on the integrity of the assignments first of all, right? So if you did the assignment, raise your hand. 80%? It's incredible. If you didn't do the assignment, nothing's wrong. Nothing's wrong if you didn't do the assignment. If you did do the assignment, okay?